What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Mika Chanel. I'm back with another edition of Mika Chanel is Just Saying. Tonight, we are talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 6 Reunion Part 1, okay? Before I get into this video, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please click subscribe right now, okay? Just click it real fast and then we can get started, all right? So this first reunion show, it's not really a lot to it. So this video probably won't be that long, but every time I say that, I talk so dang much. My videos are always end up being long anyway. So first of all, let's talk about how all the ladies looked. Which honestly isn't that much different than how they look on the show when they go out to dinner. I mean, they don't really go all out and do, you know, the extras like some of the other housewives shows do, you know. I feel like the New York and the Beverly Hills ladies, and even probably the Orange County ladies, they pretty much, you know, what you see is what you get. They look like this when they go out to dinner. They're not like dressing in ball gowns and things like that. The only thing that stood out, I guess, was Kyle with her boobs hanging out, because I don't normally see her dressed like that. And then Lisa Vanderpump, her outfit, I kept looking at the outfit like it looked so familiar. And then Andy pointed out that it's similar to what Erika was wearing in her interview looks. And Erika's like, yeah, I had the shirt and she has the full dress. And Andy gives her the, oh, Lisa, like, girl, really? Okay. I'm like, wow, did she really wear that? Then she tried to be like, oh, is it the same? Is it the same color? Girl, now you already knew. Talking about that was the first thing she grabbed on her way out the door. All right, Lisa. We gonna let you say that if you want to, but we all know in TV land what the real deal was. Anyways, so they start off with Erika. They talk about her husband, her marriage, the age difference. She says that Andy asked her, like, you know, when they first got together. I don't know if it was Andy or if it was Lisa Vanderpump. But first of all, somebody had written in a question saying to Lisa Vanderpump, like, why were you so negative about the age difference between Erika and her husband when you're 17 years younger than Kim? And Lisa was just saying, like, I wasn't negative about it. You know, it was just a little shocking. Like, we all were shocked. I mean, everybody was shocked. I was shocked. Everybody, clearly the looks on everybody's faces. And y'all remember Eileen's look, like, you know, when she said how, you know, well, actually it's a 32-year difference or whatever. I mean, that's a lot. That means that man had, you know, been through a whole lot and was about to go through midlife by the time she was even born. You know, I mean, I guess once you become an adult, it doesn't matter, but 32 years is a lot, okay? A lot. He's older than my dad, like a lot older than my dad. Anyways, but Erika was just saying, like, you know, when they first met, she was 27. And his business partners, their wives hated on her like big time. And I'm sure they did, because they're like, you know, he probably was married before or something to someone closer to his age. But even if he wasn't, I'm sure these women are like, okay, here we go again with another old ass man, you know, getting with this young girl that's going to take his money or whatever, you know. But they've been together, what they say, like 19 years, something like that. So, hey, it's working. And then Andy talks about, you know, asked her why her son, you know, we didn't see her son on the show. And he's like, she said her son is a very private person. You know, he's not into, you know, being on camera like that. He's an LAPD officer. And I gave him a side eye on it being an LAPD officer, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, and so she says that Andy asked her, like, well, how he feels about her Erika Jayne persona. And she says that her son accepts her for who she is, you know, and, you know, he's not for it or against it. He's just accepting of her as his mother, which he should be. You know, she's living her life. He's an adult. And, you know, she's living her life. She said Erika Jayne came around in 2007. So it was already after she had, you know, been with her husband. I don't know if they were married at the time, but they were together at that time when she decided to start doing her music career or whatever. And Kyle was just like, she thinks it's great that, you know, her husband is very open to that. And Andy says that he's shocked at how submissive she is to her husband, and she feels like it's not being submissive, it's just being respectful. You know, he works really hard, he's giving her a lot, and he deserves that respect. And I'm like, okay, girl. You know, if you want to have an old-fashioned marriage, go for it. Hey, it's nobody else's business but yours, all right? Anyways, then Andy asks her to demonstrate Pat the Puss, right? So she's getting ready to get up and demonstrate, and then here goes Lisa Rinna jumping up, talking about, oh yeah, let's all do it, let's all do it. I'm like, Lisa, it's not your turn, okay? Sit your ass down, all right? We all know you like to take a moment and make it yours or whatever, but we ain't got time. And Yolanda was like, let Erika have her moment, you know, just sit down, you know. And I'm like, I don't know what she was so excited to learn to dance for anyway. She called the girls' videos and music raunchy, you know, and then she tried to backtrack like she always does, but it is what it is. So she does a little, give everybody a little tease, a little show on how to pat the puss, even though she did it on Watch What Happens Live. I don't know why Andy wanted her to do it again, but whatever. They move on to Yolanda and her marriage with David, and we all know that they're going through a divorce or whatever. She basically says that, you know, she was sick basically the entire time they were married. They had been together, you know, I guess a few years before they got married. And right before they got married is when she found out she had Lyme disease. And so she had basically been on this up and down roller coaster basically the entire time that they were married. And so she feels like it just basically, you know, took its toll on David being her caregiver and, you know, her not being the wife that she probably should have been to him, and probably not the mother that she should have been to her children either. So, you know, everything took a toll, and, you know, her marriage suffered, and that's, you know, that's basically what happened. So Lisa Vanderpump starts questioning her and asking her, like, were you blindsided? Were you, you know, what happened? Like, did you know? Was there some foreshadowing or whatever? Now, Lisa Vanderpump loves to ask questions, but honestly, she was asking stuff that I wanted to hear, and I'm sure a lot of other people wanted to hear, and definitely Andy Cohen wanted to know the answers to him, you know, as well. So I don't really think that she was being, you know, that she was really being a little too much with the questions, you know. I don't really think that. I feel like, you know, she was there on a reunion, and she wants to know because she was like, you know, it's just shocking because you guys seem like such a strong, like you guys had such a solid foundation, such a strong unit. And then Yolanda's like, well, we did have a solid foundation or whatever. And I'm like, well, if you had a solid foundation, you wouldn't be going through a divorce right now. So, you know, it's just like, I guess she didn't really want to go into a lot of details, but she did not seem offended with LVP asking her, you know, those questions or whatever. And, you know, she just, she said she knew it was ending. And I think they were, you know, I don't know. She just, she said that she would have rather waited until she was, you know, well, and she had more energy to deal with whatever issues that they had in their relationship. She didn't say what those issues were. She said that that was private. Whatever, you know, went on in their relationship is private between them, which it is, you know. But she says that she, you know, Andy asked her, like, you know, if you had never gotten sick, do you think you would still be married today? And she said yes. So, I mean, I think I was basically spot on in my, the conclusion that I drew in one of my videos. I don't know if it was one of the Housewife videos or if it was the Housewife Roundup video that I said it in, but I pretty much said, like, she wasn't there to be his cheerleader anymore. And, you know, rich, powerful men like that, you know, are used to people, you know, being around them and just go, David, go, you know what I mean? And she wasn't able to do that for a long time, and he got tired of it. That was kind of my thinking of why the divorce was going on. And she said it out of her mouth. She said, yes, if she had not been sick, you know, they probably wouldn't be going through a divorce because she would have still been able to be that type of wife that he wanted or whatever. So, I mean, it is what it is. And then Andy asked Kyle, he's like, you know, you said that you went through a depression when your mother passed away and you suffered, like, you know, physical symptoms that made people think that you had something, you know, else wrong with you besides depression. And he was like, could you possibly think that that would be what was wrong with Yolanda? And Kyle was, you know, just basically saying, you know, yes, because she was having those physical symptoms after her mother died. And it could possibly be like, no one's questioning whether or not Yolanda has Lyme disease. But at the same time, as sick as she was, it could have possibly been depression. And I think one, like I said, it was those breast implants, you know, the silicone floating around her body. But two, it could have possibly been some kind of depression. I mean, because a marriage just doesn't end overnight. So clearly they were going through, she knew something was not right in her marriage, you know, probably throughout the whole season and probably before they even started filming, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, like I always said, I thought it was something more than her Lyme disease. You know, I always thought that. So, you know, it could have been depression. It could have been the silicone from her implants that exploded. Or it just could have been a mixture of just things and just, you know, feeling down. I don't know. But, you know, like I said, nobody was ever doubting that she had Lyme disease. They were just doubting what was making her so sick, you know, because, you know, whatever. Let's move on. She said, no, she was not depressed. She said she suffered clinical depression before, like a long time ago when she broke her back, and she knows what that feels like, and she was not depressed. LVP was like, you know, I thought it could have been some hormonal issues along with the depression, along with the Lyme disease, you know, or whatever. She's like, it wasn't that, you know, it's not menopausal. She got some kind of stuff in her butt, like pads or something in her butt that keeps her hormone levels right. I'm like, oh, okay. She be coming up with some stuff, y'all. She be coming up with some stuff, okay? Anyways, moving on. They move on to Catherine and basically discuss her issue with Faye Resnick. And, you know, Catherine feels like, you know, her name would have never been mixed up in the whole OJ thing. Her or her ex-husband's name would have ever been mixed up in the whole OJ scandal had Faye Resnick never, you know, put her in the book. And, you know, she was saying, just like Lisa Rinna, you know, when she saw her, she's like, you know, what I'm thinking about when I look at you is OJ. And, you know, Catherine's like, you know, that's what a lot of people think when they hear her name or when they, you know, they know who she is or whatever. And she's like, and when she thinks of Faye Resnick, that's what she thinks of, is her putting her in her book, even though they had never met or anything like that. She said it took a toll on her marriage. She, you know, talked about her husband's, like, body parts in the book and everything. But this really, like, put Kyle on edge, and Kyle got on the defensive, which she tends to do when people are talking about things that she doesn't think they should be talking about. And so she just wanted to shut Catherine down instead of letting Catherine express her feelings. Like, she wasn't attacking Faye, I don't think. She wasn't attacking Kyle. You know, Kyle just didn't want it to be brought up. And she's like, oh, you have no idea. You think you've gone through some stuff. You have no idea what Faye's going through and all this. And I'm like, first of all, she would never have been going through anything had she never wrote the dang book about, you know, trying to capitalize on her best friend dying. I mean, I understand maybe she had a drug problem or whatever back then, but at the same time, she put herself in the spotlight. And then Kyle was like, you know, from being on the show, she's getting like flack or whatever. And I'm like, okay, she put herself in that situation. She's not a housewife. She doesn't have to be shown, but every single season since the first season, she's right there, you know, in front of the camera. So she's, you know, putting herself in that situation, Kyle. So, like, I don't understand why Kyle was so, you know, I mean, I understand that's her friend, but at the same time, you know, other people can have issues with your friend. And it was Catherine's turn to speak. And I didn't like the way that Kyle, you know, Kyle's my girl, one of my favorites, but I just didn't like the way that she was handling Catherine at that time or whatever. And, you know, like I said, Faye brought all of that on herself. She don't have to be on this show at all. You know, she could just be like, you know, I'm Kyle's friend, but when I'm around, I'm going to come around when the cameras aren't around, or I just won't be filmed, or, you know, won't sign a waiver for them to show me. You know what I mean? She brings it on herself. She wants to be in the spotlight, clearly, like she wanted to be 20 some odd years ago when she wrote the damn book. Nobody even knew who the hell she was before she wrote the book, I'm sure. You know, it is what it is. Anyways, back to Yolanda and Lisa Rinna. They start talking about the whole Munchausen thing. And, you know, Lisa Rinna is basically standing by what she said, that LVP, you know, basically put her up to saying Munchausen's. I guess Lisa Rinna has spoken with her hairdresser, who coincidentally is also named Faye. And I guess the hairdresser was, talking about the whole Munchausen thing. And Lisa Rinna said that she talked to LVP about it. And she feels like LVP egged her on and was like, yeah, you got to mention this on the show. You got to mention this on the show. Lisa Vanderpump is like, I hardly ever talk to you. Then Lisa Rinna goes in her person. I have the proof. She pulls out phone records like, you call me 10 times. I'm like, well, 10 times is not a lot over the course of a year or whatever, really isn't. It's like less than once a month. But anyway, so she says that, she's standing by it. Lisa Vanderpump did put her up to it because in the first episode when we saw when Lisa Rinna was having her birthday party and Yolanda showed up or whatever, and I guess they thought Yolanda, was gonna be better, and was feeling better or whatever when she showed up, and she says that Lisa Vanderpump said, oh, well, there goes our storyline, which of course Lisa Vanderpump denies. I don't really know. What I do know is that Lisa Rinna was the one that was talking about Yolanda in every single scene. Like every time we saw her. In the beginning, she was talking a little bit about Kim and her issues with Kim. Like why? She wasn't even there. Then she moved on and started just focusing everything on the whole Yolanda thing. She said Yolanda's manipulative, Yolanda's this, Yolanda's that. Like she's always bringing it up. So, I mean, other people talked about it a little bit, but Lisa Rinna was like obsessed. It was like her whole storyline this whole season. Like she had nothing else going on with herself except for like, just really being obsessed with Yolanda and whether or not she's sick or not, but they say that Lisa Vanderpump does speak up, and she says that she was a little confused because, Yolanda was on her Instagram. She would post a picture of herself. She looked healthy. She would post a picture of herself where she looked sick or whatever, and then she said she was talking about the fact that, they were doing that scavenger hunt last season and she could barely keep up with Yolanda. And then Andy brought up the fact that, the viewers were confused because, you were jumping off a yacht with Kyle and then you say you've been in bed for like 4 years or whatever. So like, which one is it? And she basically was just saying, and they were like, they never doubted her being sick or whatever. And Yolanda just was basically saying, that's all true, yes, but this season she just couldn't physically do it. She couldn't, muster up the energy to be a part of the group like she had been in the past, which is another reason that leads everybody to believe that she could have possibly been suffering a depression or something like that because of other things besides her marriage, I mean, we'll never know for sure, if it was her Lyme disease that was keeping her down like that or if it was, something else. So she's sticking with the Lyme disease and that's what we're gonna have to stick with. Okay. But in the midst of Lisa Vanderpump and Lisa Rinna going back and forth, Yolanda starts crying and she gets up and walks away. And then Erika follows her off of the set. And that's how it ends, you guys. That's how it went off, with Yolanda walking off the stage crying and Erika following up behind her. I'm like, is she crying because she's really sad about what they were talking about? Or is she crying just because she's just so overwhelmed with everything, being sick and losing her marriage and whatever? Because she said that her and David were, basically taking a cooling off period. They weren't really talking or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like in this reunion though, she was the most, I guess, not human. I don't want to say human, but she was just the most likable that she had been all season. Like she wasn't really that likable all season because she really came off smug and a little condescending towards people. But I feel like she had just let her guard down and she was just being open and honest about things, as honest as she, possibly could be, and as honest as she wanted to be as far as, what she wanted to put out there about her marriage. But she was just, I felt like I didn't get that smug and condescending attitude from Yolanda in the reunion, which is good. So hopefully it continues along that road throughout the reunion. I saw scenes for the next one. I don't know if it's the next one. I can't remember if they're going to do 2 parts or 3 parts, but I saw Kim Richards come up. I'm like, I don't want to even hear about Kim Richards. Honestly, I don't. Okay. And then I seen they did a clip with Brandy. Bye. Okay. Like people were in my comments, like, they want Brandy and Kim to come back. I don't. You know, I want Lisa Rinna and Eileen to possibly go, just buzz off. But I don't necessarily feel like Kim or Brandy should come back. Like, I just feel like both of them are like train wrecks. I feel like they both have some real serious issues that they need to work through. You know, I don't know, Brandy, maybe she's worked through some of her issues. I don't know. But the girl, she definitely had a problem right along with Kim. And I don't like to see that played out on TV. You know, I want to be entertained, you know, have a couple arguments or whatever, but when it just seems like you really have a serious issue, a serious problem, whether it be with alcohol, drugs, or just going through something that's making you act in a certain way. And plus I felt like she was putting on a little bit too for the cameras, and I don't like that either. The reason why I like Beverly Hills so much and the reason why I like New York so much is because I just feel like the ladies just are who they are, you know, and, you know, as opposed to some of the other housewife shows where it just seems like they're putting on for the camera. And I felt like that with Brandy. I felt like it was a mixture of both. Like, she had an issue and she also was putting on for the camera. So I really don't need her. Kim needs to stay off of this show because she definitely has a problem and I don't think she can handle it, you know, to be honest. So that's it, you guys, for the season 6 reunion part 1. Tell me what you guys thought about this first part down below. Tell me what you thought about Lisa in that dress being very similar to what Erika wore. You know, Lisa don't like somebody coming for her spot. You know, the little Barbie doll spot. You know, wearing the pink shoes and everything. You know, so hey, whatever. But that's all I got, you guys. So until next time, please stay real, stay safe, and stay tuned to Nika Chanel Is Just Saying. Bye-bye.